Hi and welcome back to my review of Giants Bobblehead. Today, let's take a look at the 2002 World Series reunion set of bobbleheads that were given away June 30th, 2012 as part of the 10-year anniversary of the one of the better World Series teams to ever go there. And as you all know, unfortunately they didn't quite get there. They got to Game 7, but it didn't turn out quite the way we wanted. So let's go down the line and take a look at each bobblehead. So it features Rob Nen, Barry Bonds, JT Snow, Jeff Kent, and Kirk Reeder. This is Rob Nen, who was a Giant from, I believe, 1998 and 2002, was a key contributor to the team. Number 31, home jersey. Nice little logo there. He's got that classic, Brian Wilson folds his arms, stares up at the sky. This is what Rob Nen does. He entered the game playing Smoke on the Water, which I still miss, and I wish they played it more often. And after a win, he'd, make a fist, yell, and he was an amazing Giant. He had plenty of saves, 40 saves a year. And unfortunately, he hurt himself, and he played and played and played. I think playing that World Series ruined his career. He finally tore the tendon until he just couldn't do it anymore. But it's a pretty good-looking bobblehead. I think you can probably get Rob Nen somewhere in the $50 range, similar to, I think, Kirk Reeder and JT Snow, about going for about the same amount. Barry Bonds, for whatever reason, seems to be the hardest one to get. I think he's somewhere in the $75 to $100 range if you check eBay, Craigslist. It's for whatever reason the hardest one to get, just because he is a home run king, season record home run king and all. And he's in his classic number 25 home jersey. He's sporting the gold earring in his ring, staring up at the sky. One thing I do like about his bobblehead is the bat is just on a little knob and it just hangs loose right into the base. It's one thing we haven't seen in a while. I think Cody Ross's bat was similar like that from last year's promotion. The only comment I have about this bobblehead is the fact that he's really dark. This is more black than brown. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Barry Bonds in real life, if you've ever seen him, he's not this dark. He is the skin tone is a little lighter than that. It's just a weird thing. You'll notice that if you get a close look at this. And Barry Bonds, again, he's on eBay, Craigslist, one of the harder ones to get. And all right, let's see, take a look. Oh, next guy, JT Snow, great Giant. I think he was a Giant from, I believe, 1997 until 2006. So it's a very long career as a Giant. He's on the Wall of Fame. Home jersey, playing first base, number 6 jersey. Got a logo on his sleeve, ready to pounce. Got the eye black on, as what he always did. It's a pretty good looking bobblehead. I think the likeness could be a little bit better, but it's pretty close. It's a good looking bobblehead. I think if you're really going to collect JT Snow, I think his rewards card bobblehead from, I think, 2003 is probably the one to get. This is a pretty nice one. I think I prefer that one still. I even prefer that one better. But it's a pretty good looking one to get. And JT Snow is still popular with ballpark. You still see the snow jerseys everywhere. And again, he's probably somewhere in the $50 range. Same with, or actually, I think it's more like 1, 2, 3, about the same price. This is somewhere around the $60, $70 range. As far as I've been checking on prices, and Barry Bonds is right now commanding the premium. And let's take a look at Jeff Kent, one of the unsung heroes of the team. I mean, really, Barry Bonds, everyone knows, was a great player, but I think for all those years when they were really good, from 1997 until they broke up the team after the World Series, and even through 2003, Jeff Kent was the straw that stirred the drink. I mean, batting, cleanup, and just cleaning house. He's the one that made it possible for Barry Bonds to do all those wonderful things, because you couldn't just walk Barry. You had to face Kent, and Kent was the 2000 World Series, and in 2002, they were probably the best 3-4 punch in all of baseball. And you saw what happened when Kent left. Is they walked Bonds because the Giants really didn't have a legitimate cleanup hitter to protect Barry, and instead Barry walked like 260 times the year after, I think 2003, 2004. It was just ridiculous. So Jeff Kent, definitely worth every penny that we paid, and unfortunately he left as a free agent. And Jeff Canton's a bobblehead, home jersey, number 21, sticking his bat out. Pretty good likeness. I think they kind of messed up his mustache on mine here, but other than that, it's pretty good likeness of a bobblehead. I think it's the first time that Jeff Kent actually has a stadium giveaway Giants bobblehead. There is one of Jeff Kent in a black jersey, but that was a retail one. So it's nice that they finally have one for an amazing career that Jeff Kent has. By the way, Jeff Kent has the most home runs by a second baseman in baseball history, and hopefully he makes it to Cooperstown if there isn't too much of a East Coast bias, because it's just sad. The Giants baseball is a great career and all that stuff happens, but on the East Coast everyone's asleep, so they don't quite recognize it. So unless you play for the Yankees or Red Sox, you never quite get the recognition that they deserve. And Jeff Kent, great career. JT Snow, great career. They'll probably be forgotten because they didn't play in prime time. But, it's kind of sad. There is a tremendous East Coast bias in the way that Cooperstown does their voting. But in any case, this is Kirk Reeder, Woody, as you know, one of the better players out there. He was legitimately, for many years, ace of the staff, one of the most consistent guys, and it seems kind of silly that he didn't overwhelm anyone. But you look at statistics, the fact that he was able to win 15 games every year consistently, year in and year out, from about 1996 until he finally left the team in 2006. This model of consistency until they changed the strike zone on him, and a lot of the pitches that used to throw that outside sinker was no longer called a strike anymore, and it just really ruined his ability to play the game that he had, which was to make people chase and do different things. He didn't throw very hard, but he was a model of consistency where a good fastball, a well-placed changeup, that's enough to survive in the majors and make people hit the ball where they don't want to. But Woody, great player. This is the second bobblehead of him. I think if some of you have the Woody's World, it's a pretty good likeness. I have plenty of memories of him doing this. I think I remember him doing this exact pose at the end of the Game 4 of the World Series when he won it 2-1 at home at AT&T Park. It was quite an amazing game. I still vividly remember every detail of that, especially Game 5 when the Giants, I think they won 16-5, and Jeff Kent hit 2 home runs, just completely obliterated the Angels. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way it is, but here it is, the set of the 2002 World Series reunion set. I think if you try to buy them all together, it's probably going to run you at least $275, if not more. I think over time, things may change, but I think they're going to go up in value. It's not unimaginable because I'm seeing the 1987 set go up in value by $50. I think that 87 set, which has been a while, it's keeping its value. So I can't imagine these not keeping its value. So it's a nice thing to have in your collection, and hopefully, you appreciate it. If you really have to sell it, you can. Hopefully you're all able to get one. Again, check Craigslist, eBay, make some phone calls, find friends on Facebook, and hopefully you're able to complete your collection. In any case, thanks for watching. Go Giants. Bye.